Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sisters. Such a young lady. If you have your child that is going to university or at a college which is maybe in another area from the place where you are staying, please always remember your kids in prayer, and always remember to pray for those kids that will be also staying with your own child, whether it will be at the student accommodation or at the same place where your child will be staying. There is a message that I received. This message, it was sent to me by our dear sister. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? My brother, I am a young woman and I am only aged 19 years old. My dad is a South African and my mom, she is from Zim. She came here a very long time ago. It is a very long story, and my mom once ran away with us and she went with us to Zim. So I got my schooling in Zim, but later on my dad was searching for us. That was when they negotiated and my mom returned back to South Africa with us, and we started staying as a happy family. Brother Nashi, my mom is someone who really loves to go to church, and she made sure that we followed the doctrine of our church, because we go to the Pentecostal church, like no sex before marriage, no drinking, no what. I was just a Christian young woman before I had started going to university. I used to date boys, but I made sure that whomever that I was dating, I'll let him know that I am a Pentecostal woman and I am not allowed to do this thing of romance and premarital sex. But when I started going to university, things changed, Brother Nashi. My life was turned like upside down. At the complex where I am staying, there are a lot of young women, and at this complex, it is like they purposely did this thing. They do not allow like male students to stay at this complex because they want us only girls to be at this complex, because we are the ones who are able like to pay rent in time and stuff like that, never giving them any problems at all. But they said that these male students, sometimes they'll spend all of the money that their parents will be giving them, then they won't have any money to pay their rent. But I then saw that the reason as to why they only want female students at this place, it is more like they know that these students, what we are doing is that we are prostituting ourselves, and the landlord pretends as if he does not even see that these are the things that are going on. As for me, when I started staying at this complex, I tried to pray to chase away the spirit of prostitution that I saw that it was all over the place. But within a short period of time, I also joined and I started to prostitute myself. Usually, the way that we prostitute ourselves, we do it in a very clever way. It is not like there will be men that will be coming and parking their cars, and we do not even go and stand in the street. We usually meet these guys that have a lot of money in the clubs. We go to the clubs, then we bring them home, and then you'll start to date around about maybe 6 to 7 guys, and these guys, they'll be maintaining you. There is one who always have your hair well done, and there is one who will always be buying clothes, and the other one is just to take you to a lot of places like your parties and giving you money. The money that I am making, Brother Nashi, even people who are going to work, they cannot make the kind of money that I am making. And whenever I'll be home with my parents, I pretend as if I am someone who does not even know what it means to sleep with a man. But I have slept with a lot of men, and I can't even say no, even though I am dating all of these men. But there are those ones that I just have a quickie with. Even if someone picks me up, if that man tells me that he is in love with me, he can even tell me that he wants to go with me to his place, and I can't even say no. I have slept with a lot of men, Brother Nashi, but the story that has brought me to your platform is a story that happened last year. I met this other blesser This blesser, when I met him, he said, "You are still very young and I want to get married to you because there are things that my wife now cannot do in bed, so I want to be with you." This man even reached a point whereby he gave me this other Lexus, one car of his that was not being used by his wife. It was just there in the garage at his place. He then came with this car and he told me that I should drive him back to his place. So I drove him back to his place. When we arrived at his place, that was when he got off from the car and he said, "You can return back." So I thought that maybe since it was like really dark, maybe he wanted me to be safe. He didn't want to do a bolt for me. So I drove back to the complex where I am staying. That is how he donated that car to me. He only donated this Lexus to me for only a brief period of time, like when he was using me for his rituals. This car, when I had it parked at the complex, there was this other girl. So this girl, usually she goes and she sleeps with some guys, but she does not like to sleep at another guy's place after having sex. She prefers to return back to the complex. So she was the one who told me the story about this car. When she came back, she said that she came back at the complex somewhere around 3 a.m. and when she was dropped by the bolt at our gate, that was when she said she saw that this car, it had changed itself. It was no longer a car, but it was actually a big frog. And she ran into the complex and she ran into her room. And when she opened her curtain, she wanted to see if indeed she had seen this car transforming itself and becoming a big frog. She said that she saw my blesser, that old blesser, was standing right next to my window. He was naked and he was busy masturbating himself. After he was done, then he ran away. So early in the morning, I had a loud banging noise on my door. And when I opened, I saw that it was that girl that I was staying with at the same complex. She then walked into my room and she was panicking and she told me that this is what she had seen. After she had told me this story, us girls, I thought that maybe she was feeling jealousy. Deep down in my heart, there was a lot of hatred that was building up because I was actually saying that this girl thinks that I am stupid. She is feeling jealousy because this blesser has given me this car. No, I'm not going to dump the love of my life. So I pretended as if I was going to dump this blesser. So this girl, she started to suffer from a severe headache. By the time that she died, Brother Nashi, last year, she was blind and she could not hear anything. She was deaf and blind. That is when she passed away. I still have a picture, Brother Nashi, that I took of her. I still have the picture that I took her when I was taking her to the taxi rank, because I was the one who went with her to the taxi rank, and she kept on complaining, saying that she had a terrible headache. So we took her to the taxi rank using that same car, and she didn't want to get inside that car, but I said, the way that you are sick, let me just take you to the taxi rank. Then we heard that she had gone blind, she had gone deaf, then she passed away. As for that blesser, I continued dating him, but the more that I dated him, the more that I would notice that when he would have come to my room, when I would wake up, then he would have gone missing in my room. When I will call him, then he will tell me that he was already at his place. He'll be like, at your place, how? Because I was the one who would have locked the door. The keys, usually I place the keys underneath my pillow. I'm just used to that. But when I would wake up, the keys will be there. The door will be locked from the inside, but he would have left my room. So the thing that I did, Brother Nashi, just before me and him had broken up, I purposefully left the keys on the door. Then when I woke up, he was not with me and the keys were there. So I don't know how he had managed to leave my room and lock the door from the outside and left the keys hanging on the door, but from the inside. When I questioned him about this weird behavior, he then came and he took his car. The day that he took his car, I then started bleeding and I had a lot of white discharge. With time, Brother Nashi, I felt that there was this terrible pain that was like in my stomach. The pain was so terrible, it was unbearable. I then returned back home. When I returned back home, and my mom and dad, they took me to a gynecologist, and I was told that I had uterus cancer. So at this young age, Brother Nashi, I have no hope at all that I am ever going to give birth. How am I going to give birth? Because my womb was removed. I was told that the cancer is spreading really fast, so the womb had to be removed, and it had to be removed, and it was removed. I still remember how my mother cried. My mother cried a lot because she realized that I will never be able to give her any grandchildren at all. If this was all, Brother Nashi, I'll say that I paid this high price, but now I am feeling that same pain. The pain that I used to feel in my tummy, that is the pain that I am feeling on my right breast. It is very painful, Brother Nashi. Even when I am with a guy, when the guy is sucking my nipples, it is quite painful that I will scream out loud. I am scared. There was one of my blessers who told me to go to the hospital so that I can be screened for breast cancer, but I can't. If I die, let me die. I cannot let my mom know that I am now having breast cancer, and I know where this whole thing, and I know how this thing started. It only started after that blesser had gifted me with that car, the Lexus that he gifted me. Then one of the girls at the complex died, the one who said that she saw my blesser busy masturbating himself naked, standing right next to the window of my room, and then the car transformed and it became a frog, and she died deaf and blind. Now I am the one who is suffering. Do not want to die. If there are any prophets that you know that can do a go back to sender, please assist me. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our young sister right there. If you have a child that is going to college or university, please pray for them. Pray against the spirits that control that territory in which your child will find yourself or himself in the student accommodation, wherever he or she will be staying. Just pray for your child, as well as pray for the other kids that will be hanging around your own child, so that they won't have bad influence over your child. Let us meet again in the following episode.